Well done.
Welcome to another unauthorized and royal treasure hunt in the sharky waters around the Gatsby Islands with Queen Raae. I'm your host, Captain Olavia Jr., and today our guest is the great and powerful Josh Johnson of Gatsby.
That's a big introduction.
I mean, you gotta get a good introduction when you show up on that stream.
True.
So I'm gonna make us all bigger, okay? Can you get my daughter, the pirate princess, to be quiet?
Yep.
So, he just muted them, I think. So what are we doing? We are gonna refactor some components for my Gatsby side into using the new Slices API. And why would I want to do that? I'm going to kick that over to you, Josh.
Yeah, so Slices is something that I'm really, really excited about. It's a new feature coming in Gatsby 5. So Gatsby 5 will be launching in several weeks here. We're very close to a beta. We have an alpha out now, ready to test. And so the Slices API will actually let you pull out individual pieces of your site and build those incrementally. So in the past, we've had incremental builds, we've had incremental deploys, we've had all these things that start by taking out little pieces, detecting what changes you made, only building what changed. But at that point, it was like the page level. Now what if you get to a point where I want to update the header or like this common component that's on every single page in my site. You have to build every single page that component is on. But now let's say, what if you pull that out into a slice? You'll be able to just build that one single piece and it populates on your entire site. So we're super excited about this because that means that pages that you update a typo on your header would sometimes build 10,000 pages. Now it needs to build one component and it just ships everywhere. So we're really excited about that.
How? Well, you're going to show me how. But I just want to ask you, because one thing that I've done some code reviews, and I also joked around with Paul on this on Twitter. It's like a lot of people want to have the build time in their footer. And that would then, in the old way, actually regenerate every page, because then every page that had that footer had new data, and then every page would have to be regenerated.
Yep.
Correct? Yeah. But now, when we have Slices, we can now put a build time back into our footer. Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about that. So that could work, because then every time you make a data update or update your homepage, it'll only build the slices that changed. So so that is also true for then the static data. So if we're doing a new deploy and only one page changed, then that will be regenerated, but then also the footer will be regenerated and then stitched into every page. Still maybe not something you should do though, but I don't know, how fast is that stitching? It's pretty quick. So I am actually in the process now of doing official benchmarking and stuff like that. And we're really excited so far because, like I said, testing with 10,000 pages, we see build times going from 30, 40 seconds down to 3 seconds, so when you update those headers and those common components. So it's really exciting.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see how we can do it. We're going to do some changes here so I can share my screen. And then whenever we get stuck, of course, as always, why am I so... There we go. That's better. Just got to get a good frame. I'm
going to read this comment now.
Yes, do it.
You can't see my head. Sorry about that. Sorry, that's life. I've been waiting for this stream since you scheduled it. Thanks for doing this. Oh, there my head is.
Ooh, that's a high praise. Yep. People are excited then, it seems, for Slices. We're like both Ula and I are doing the same work here on the back.
Yeah.
On the back, so we're putting the thing back on. Okay, so here we have some code.
Yes.
And let's look. Did I run this? Yes, I did run this. So this is my page in localhost. So I don't have a footer right now, which I probably should at some point, but I do have a tiny little header here with some icons, my new cute icons. But then I also, because I have here, I have a
Wait a
email.
minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
What?
This
Hey,
is the
Alex is here.
Hey there, Ra and Ola. Hello, Alex. Yes.
Hello.
What's
We
up,
met
Alex?
Alex. You probably know him because he works at that Gatsby with. We also got to meet him at React Norway in
Oh yeah,
in Larvik. Yes.
nice.
So I am yeah, so Alex and I and some other people, we went midnight swimming. Yeah, when the bars closed. I was like, well, I guess it was over midnight. But we were standing in the reception, like looking out over the ocean, and I was like, "You want to do something very Norwegian?"
Ooh, was it cold?
Well, I mean, the ocean retains heat pretty well, so it's usually
Yeah.
not that much colder at night. But Norwegian oceans aren't that warm, like even in the height
Yeah,
of summer.
yeah.
So yeah, no, but that was good memories, good memories. So, oh, he's saying highlight of his trip, and yeah, not midnight. It was like 2 a.m. That's what you go for conferences for. Like, who cares about the talks? Anyway, I also have this here that I call the emails component. It does like a ton of things. And I use that component here. And then I also use it if you search. So if I do plugin and it starts, what happened to my, I don't have that much stuff because I'm on my dev. So I only have a couple of emails. Anyway, yeah, here it's also used here. And then it's of course also used here for the latest emails on this site. So maybe we could do something fun with that. But let's start with the header, maybe, since that's like the very common.
Sure. Yeah,
Case,
that's
I
gonna be
guess.
a very common thing that people are gonna be using slices for.
Yeah. So let's head over. So I have a site header, and it's pulling in some static data from my config file. So I
Sure.
use config files instead of hard coding. I put the links here and like the information here, and then I pull it into the site header with a static query, and then just like
Sure.
I'm
Okay.
yes, I'm refactoring to Tailwind, everyone. If you've been following the stream for a while, that's major. Let's not talk about that today, but it's happening.
Yeah. So with slices, there's two major pieces. It's very similar to page components where you have your component, and then if you're using your Gatsby node file, you'll have your create page method that you call. Very similarly with slices is we'll have like our slice component, and then we also added a new action called create slice. What we were aiming to do with Gatsby 5 is to make this as seamless as an upgrade as possible. Even using the new features like slice and partial hydration. So it should mirror very closely to your experience with using pages.
Yeah. But so can I create a slices folder and just like pop it in there?
Not yet. That is something we want to do in the future. So that is in our current RFC. We're kind of getting feelers out of how people would want to use it and things like that. For Gatsby 5 launch, we will not be using, the file system routes.
Okay, so for the first version of version 5, you will have to do create slice like you do with create pages.
Yep.
Or create page. Okay, so I'm already in here, so I can just close this. This is my create email tag archive code. So I guess we'll work up here somewhere. Is it exports create slices then?
It's just within the create pages API.
Oh. So
on your Gatsby utils, you'll have your actions that you can pull out.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make so it's similar. So I'll just then create slices, and it's not an async function, I guess, because then we can do wait. I cannot spell await. It's one of those things.
One of those words.
So it's one of the. Well, I have many of those words. So like, let's be real. Like, I can't spell for.
I heard there would be pizza, says RJ. So these create slices. That's the pizza then.
That is the pizza. There will be a lot of pizza themed Gatsby posts in the near future.
Oh, yeah, I've already seen some. But you were talking about maybe you should like get some pizza and blend it for your grog. So what did you end up doing for your grog?
I thought about it, but then I elected to do my have you heard of a chider before? It's so I don't know how it is elsewhere, especially in Norway, but in the fall in Michigan, like apple cider is really, really big. And so what you do is you
like
take
warm?
Yeah. Yep. So you take some chai tea, like half chai tea and half cider, and you mix them together. It's called a cider. It's very good.
Oh, I'm gonna adopt this.
Yep. And I broke out my beach mug this is the most piratey themed mug that I have.
But you got the Gatsby t-shirt, so you don't need
I do have a
any more
Gatsby
theme.
t-shirt.
You don't need any more theme.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the create slice. I destructured it from my Gatsby utils. Is that correct? Create slice?
Yeah, you should have an actions on there. Right?
Oh yeah. You know what? I always get the actions. Like I always try to what did I do now? I always try to destructure it directly from maybe something you can fix for version 6. Create slice. Let's get that off of the actions. Okay, so let's use it. You want me to go to some documentation and copy paste, or do you know this by heart?
No, let's write it out. I have a cheat sheet, so
okay.
I'm gonna pretend like it's all coming straight off of my head, but
yes,
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So
so it's saying it's pretty similar to this like create page, right?
Yeah.
So we're like looking at something like that. Okay.
Yep. So the two required pieces of information are an ID and your component. So similar how
what's the ID?
Page, so in this case, you could just call it like header. Anything.
Because maybe site header then. That's the name of the component. Yeah. So you're not automatically making this, like we have to come up with them.
Right.
Yeah. And then because here we have a path and a component.
Yep.
No, path is because that's a path for the page, and then component. Okay.
Yep. And so similar how we were trying to like mirror the create page API to make it feel a little bit more comfortable from the start. You can think of your ID as the path, and then your component is the same. And we don't need to do it for this component, but you can even pass in like context. Same with pages, things like that, which is kind of neat.
So I can like add some extra stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So how do I never like these templates? Like I need to do path. Do you do here? Like I need to do path resolve?
Yeah. So you do it the same way as you would with your page component. Yeah.
Look at me copy pasting. Like it's the way I roll. So then it would be source components. And then site header. Then I am guessing, because this might be wrong, because I've stopped doing default exports. So I'm guessing this component then needs to have a default export.
Yeah. So I know that there's a very differing opinions out there about default exports by default. But yeah, so in this case, you'll need to do the default export.
Oh, look at this! It is this default. Like I am, because I'm like this is this is my experiment repo. Like so many things are going down in this repo. It's got like 2 UI systems. I have made like my own plugin system. It's like all the things are happening. But for this one, it looks like I have stuck with exporting a default function instead of making a const and then exporting the default.
Yeah, you were just ready for slices. That's what it is.
I was ready for slices. Okay.
Yeah.
So are we done then? Like.
Yeah, this is it. So at this point in the process, we're not actually using the component yet. Okay. So this is where we're going to have to go into where you render your site header on the page. So where are we doing that at?
All of the pages.
All of the pages.
Yeah, because I skipped the layout stuff.
Okay.
Which I have a feeling will make sense when other things come out that I didn't do the layout wrapper component. So does it have to happen like in the page component, or could I make like a reusable component that then calls my slices?
Yep, you could do it in each page component. If you have a layout component, which I know you said you skipped, but like in the future, if you ever added that, you could just do it right there in one line. So, but this is a good candidate. We can just do it right here in line and then run a build and see it working.
Okay.
There's just a new component called slice exported from Gatsby. So you should be able to just use that.
Slice. So I should get it from Gatsby, like right here. See if it works. I hope I have the correct version now. Where am I? Where am I? Here we are. Slice. Okay.
Yep. And then we need to pass it. So similar, I'll get into like, the one little like tricky piece about slices is there's like an ID and an alias.
Okay.
The component itself will use what's called an alias.
Mm-hmm.
So an alias is, a mapping of the ID that you created it with, which one you actually want to use. So in this case, we'll just pass alias equals site header, just the same string that you typed in before.
Site header.
Yep. And then after that, I think you had a prop on there before, some sort of variant.
I think maybe, but I don't think it actually takes that. I think
Okay.
I think that's old news.
Okay.
Let's have a look at site header. No, it doesn't use any prop.
Okay. So in this case, we're done. It's that 3 lines of change. In the future, if you needed to add props, you can pass props to the slice and it passes down to the root component, things like that. But at this point,
can I use this slice component at like any level, you're saying, or?
Yeah, for the most part. We don't support, in the initial release, we're not going to be supporting nested slices.
Okay.
So like if your site header had a slice in it, that wouldn't work at this point. But at this, like, for really, I mean, theoretically, you could convert every component on your page as long as you don't, like, once you get to the nested level, it gets a little weird, but.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if this runs. Let's see if this builds. Do I need to do clean? Should this just work?
You shouldn't need to do a clean, but at least restart since we touched the Gatsby node.
Okay, so we're not using the site header anymore. Let's try. This is interesting. It's going to take a while. Do you have any questions, Ula?
So yes. So you're doing some photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the side.
Yeah, it's mostly hobby at this point. I've thought about doing like pursuing more of like a business and stuff like that, but at this point, it's just mostly just for a hobby.
Okay, so does that mean that you have actually sold some projects before?
I've done some photo shoots and things like that. Nothing like, I really want to do an art fair or something like that, like like the street art and stuff like that. I want to do that someday. I haven't pursued it yet, but hopefully in the future that would be a really fun thing to see people enjoy the things that I take pictures of.
Oh, you mean like you mean like you have a fair with your photos?
It could, well, not specifically my fair, but there's like a ton of art fairs. If you want to throw me a fair, I would
come to Norway. Okay. Like we have fairs all the time.
Help me understand. So there are people that like display their art, and then you're displaying your photos together with the other. I see.
Yep, and you could buy that. Like people sell their art that they make and things like that. Yeah. So someday that would be cool.
Because I never been to an art fair, but we went to the middle age fair. Do you remember?
Queen Raae? Yeah, we went to this. No, it was like a Renaissance fair.
Renaissance, man, that was weird.
Yeah, those are. I've never been to one, but I have a lot of friends that are really into it.
Yeah,
I've been, and like there's some cool stuff that happens there.
You can tell that the people were really into it. Oh no, fiber. Oh no, fiber.
It's not working.
Expected
a string for built-in components or a class function for, maybe I didn't export it the way we wanted it.
Yep. So I think that might be in your Gatsby node how we're exporting it.
Okay, so let's make sure that we call it the same. Gatsby node, site header. Yeah, because it's like it's saying something is wrong with a component. So.
Oh, can you try doing the other one, the component's the same.
I'm just even copy pasting components now. Just
sure.
Oh, look at this! We have a guy. He had the same error. OMG!
Oh, okay. So this is good to know. Yeah, this is good to know.
I'll read it out. I tried my hands on slices using the documentation, but had some issues. It did not work. One of the errors I got was the same fiber error.
But I'm guessing this should work. Like it doesn't have to be a const. That shouldn't matter.
Right, it shouldn't.
But
But
What version? Because I took the latest thing I could find in the secret place. should I try and install like that
no,
specific version you sent me?
It shouldn't matter too much. I think that if we go back to Gatsby node,
Yeah.
and so it's export default path.resolve.
Should it be a dot?
You could try // and maybe try doing require resolve.
Require.
Yeah, so just
yeah,
Oh,
he says
I think the problem is with the export method.
the problem is with the export method.
It probably shouldn't, but let's just do a const just to make sure. Like that, it shouldn't really matter, but maybe you do some fun stuff with it. Export default.
This is the joys of live streaming with a pre-alpha.
Exactly. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. Okay.
Yeah, this is fun.
Site header. Okay, so maybe does that work? We should probably like run it. Oh, now something is like breaking over here. So maybe something happened.
Is anything in your console?
No, it's just my regular don't. Aggregating file changes was sent to stopped service. Writing page data JSON and slice data JSON. So at least something is happening here. Slice data JSON to the public directory. Oh, look at that. It was. You can't like for some reason my export default function, like you got to look into that.
Yep, that's good to know. I will note that right now.
People have been putting
Mr. Style. Or is I'll guess this is a man, right?
We did, but let us know if we got that wrong. People guests have been putting stuff straight into their issue tracker before, so I always feel like the streams matter when we do that. When that happens. So but like how would we know now that this like is using slices?
So from the browser's perspective, you won't be really able to tell. What we can do is we can go kind of like dive in and see what Gatsby is putting out, like the HTML files.
We could do that, but I guess we also could do if we did would we see we wouldn't even see that React. The slice.
We see a slice in dev mode.
So here we have slice and then inline slice.
And then you can see it renders the site header, passes whatever props.
And then I can hear myself in echo now. Who is having me on echo?
I'm not.
Okay.
It's probably you.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself.
Yes.
Like I need to go check that out. Okay, what was I doing? Yes, I was gonna check the network tab because will we see like will there be like a slices
at this
JSON?
So when you reload, you should be able to see your slice data.json be loaded. But besides that, from the browser's perspective, not much changes. We fetch that same data that we would with page data. Anything that the slice would require to render. But besides that, it's very similar to using without slices. It's just faster.
It's just faster. But I guess like if I don't know, but how could we like show that it doesn't build all the pages? Is there a way to show that in our kind of console or something like that?
Yeah, if you run a build, we should be able to see that.
Yeah, but let's change it everywhere then so that we can actually see that it's not. But that's what I was wondering. Like, could I move all of this code into a component and call that site header and then use that on all my and then put the other one in slices? Okay. So I don't want to I kind of don't want to change this all over the place. So right now I can't even explain what I'm trying to say, but let me just do it and then let's see if that works. Because let's get back to our site header like that. And then we make this into our slice code, and then we move all of this code somewhere else. Then I don't have to change all my pages. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
So let's make changes slices.
Let's remind me, because I was distracted when you were doing the Y here. It is faster because why?
Because why? So if you think of, we keep using this pizza analogy,
Yeah.
If you think of a pizza, in my mind, I'm thinking of it like you're coming home from a pizza party. There's a ton of pizza left over. You want to take an entire box, but there's you want one piece of a different pizza. You can just take one piece of yours out and then take a piece from the other box and put yours in. It just removes one slice, puts the new slice in. You don't have to do anything to the rest of the box. So similar with a web page, you're just kind of pulling out that header into a separate file. And then when your browser goes to load the page, it just kind of stitches all of that back in. So instead of regenerating every single HTML page, now we just re-render that one little slice and then just plop it into the browser. There's a little bit more magic going on than that, but that's at a high level, that's kind of how it's working.
So you're kind of saying that I only want one piece of pizza, but I want it to be fresh.
There you go.
And the other pieces, they can just stay old, because I don't care. I just want that. Yeah, okay.
The one fresh piece.
Yeah, that's good. So this is the pirate analogy then. I'm having a pizza party with my pirate buddies that I don't like. I don't like them. So I'm going to give them the old pizza, and then there's one slice there that is new, and I'm going to take that.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it from a pirate's perspective. I think that's right in line what they would think.
That's pretty evil.
Okay, so I moved this component into slices, and then I refactored my original site header to use the slice, so I don't have to update all my pages.
Yeah.
But then we need to change this part, so that would be slices. And did I call it site header slice just to be explicit? Yes, I did. Should that work then?
I think so. There's one way to find out.
One way. Let's look at our changes here just to be sure. So we are still exporting a site header, yes. And then here we realized we couldn't do the functional or function export, so we're doing a proper export. Okay, let's see. Let's do a develop and see if that works. And if anybody in the chat has questions for Josh, just have at it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I heard some rumors about this Gatsby 5 thing.
Ooh.
You heard about it too, then?
I think so. Or is this one of those silent nod and just agree things?
So you probably can't say when it's coming. We have a question from this is John, our resident artist. I'm gonna read him. He has a special pirate voice. Is this exclusively for cloud builds or local as well?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So far, we've seen, so we have some stuff happening in the cloud that will help speed it up significantly. But even locally, from our testing, we've seen builds using slices. And again, when you make those certain changes, if you're working on a blog post or, technical documentation and you run a build, we've actually seen those build speeds increase quite a bit as well. We don't have any strong measurements on that. We think it'll be around 20 or 30% faster. But that's not that's just kind of our rough estimates at this point.
But are you working with partners so that everyone can take advantage, or how is that?
So the Slices API itself will be available in Gatsby 5 to everyone. And you should be able to see some benefits. But we'll definitely be putting out like a public blog post at some point in the future with hard data showing, in local builds, this is how much it improves in these cases and things like that. So we're really excited about that.
I sometimes I forget that I have my system set up to be Norwegian just to not, remember my root. And now it says ash, which means like poop, something went wrong. It says ash. Oh, look at that.
Oh, it looks like you increased your styles on purpose, right? Right?
Yes, obviously. I think something got messed up because it's inlined, or I don't know what happened here.
One more question from John here. Can this be used in wrap root element or wrap page element?
Yeah, that is also a good question. Yeah, we will be able to use wrap root element on these. And so with the way that things work, it's not rendering directly in the DOM tree. So once you get to a point where you're starting to use context and things like that, that's where you'll have to pull those out into wrap root element to give it your providers and things like that. So that slices can take advantage of a lot of the benefits there. So yeah, it will be, if you needed to pass context providers through, or the data through to slices, you'll use wrap root element.
I don't understand why this messed up my styling though.
Oh, is it perhaps that there's direct children references or things like that in your styles? Because I wonder if, since there's like another nest or two now.
Yeah, no, but what? I mean, it worked earlier.
True.
And it wasn't anymore. And
I have a question now. So you need to use the alpha thing, right? The alpha Gatsby version.
Yeah, so we don't have this in a public alpha yet. The beta is launching in the next couple weeks. And so it should be in one of the early versions of the beta that people will be able to use a pseudo official version of Gatsby.
So when Mr. Sohail here says that he used Gatsby 4.23.1, that might be his problem then.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to get one of the alpha versions that are not officially out, but
you can get it. I know how to get it. You're
not supposed to say on this.
No, but I can. I have a trick here. You go to your local tailor shop and you get them to make a velour training suit for Paul Scanlon. It must be purple. You take a photo and then you say, "I'm mailing this to you, Paul. Could you please just get me the link?"
Yeah,
and he'll fix it. But it must be purple, okay? Purple.
Paul has a lot of connections.
He's got a lot of connection, and he's been wanting a purple velour dress for as long as we've known him. So
okay, that's really good information for me to know too.
Yes.
But Queen, did you just say purple velour dress now? That's pretty.
Oh, so yeah, not a dress. So in Norwegian, dress is suit. So sometimes I make that mistake just because like the word exists in both languages. But I don't know, but he would look good in a dress as well. So, but I think what he wanted was a suit, a track suit.
Okay.
I fixed our error, and the error was Tailwind related, because Tailwind looks through. You have to tell them what folders to look through for like where you're using them. So I had to add the slices folder here in addition to the components and the templates. So that was why. But now when we walk around this page, it looks like it's got the header everywhere.
Nice.
And now it's just preparing a page. So should we do like a build now to like showcase the difference?
Yeah, we can do a build, and we can also like take a look at, if we want to, we can take a look at like the actual HTML that's built, which is pretty cool.
Oh, but then we do want to do a real build, right?
Yeah.
Or do we see that in? Yeah. Okay, so let's do real build and then just change something in my header and then see what happens, like how much we need to change. Okay.
Yeah.
So yarn build. And that's going to take some time again. So let's I think there's some more. So it's clear. I need to. The last question here is so it's clear. I need to get 423 1 alpha. I think you need something with the 5 in the name for it to work.
Yeah, and it's not in an official alpha yet. We do have an alpha released for partial hydration, but not for slices. So they're still.
So go play with partial hydration first,
Yeah.
And then the team will let you know when there's an official alpha, because we're playing around with an unofficial alpha here. So you might be seeing this stream in 6 months, and nothing is working like we're showing it today. But hopefully pretty close.
What? You're going to make? Is Gatsby 5 going to be different from this?
No, but it's an unofficial alpha.
Yeah, version 1, or well, I shouldn't say version 1. Like 5.0 should be fairly similar to what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in theory, since it's an unofficial alpha, they can do whatever they want with like how it's working, because they haven't like. That's the point of an unofficial alpha. And then there's the alpha, which still can change. And then there's the beta, which should be exactly what's going to be released, just trying to fix bugs.
Yep.
And then you have the release. That's kind of how it goes. And then you have release candidates usually. And then you have the release. I might write a blog post about this, because that took me actually a real long time to understand all of these alphas and betas and RCs and
what they all
like
mean.
Yeah, and how and people use them differently, right? But there are some industry standards, I guess. Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
Now we're just building here.
Oh, we're building. So when did you start taking photos then, Josh?
I started on my phones a few years ago. And then I would say I probably started getting interested like 2014, 2015. And then I bought like a really cheap starter camera to like, photography is not a cheap hobby, which is really unfortunate. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you start off cheap to see if you really like it. And then the pandemic happened and I'm like, I need to do something. So that's when I invested a little bit more into something nicer. So yeah, it's been a while. I really do enjoy it though.
Oh, so you stopped? You stopped taking photos?
Not necessarily. I'd say sometimes I'll go stretches like a month without doing it.
Yeah.
But never usually longer than that.
Yeah.
It's usually finding things that I want to take pictures of. You know, I love doing pictures of families and individuals for big occasions and things like that.
Yeah.
But totally different, on a totally different note. How long have you, because you wrote that greatest hits of Gatsby blog post, didn't you?
Yeah, so that required a lot of research on my part because I have only been at Gatsby for like 8 months, you know, so it's still fairly recent. And so a lot of these things, of course, like I had heard about that, like I knew how to use them and things like that, but it's like, okay, well, when exactly did this come out? So that's been, that was a fun blog post. Oh yeah, see, look at that.
I just hearing my, our daughter in the background. She's like, but my audiobook isn't working anymore. Fix it. Yeah, so it's built.
You scroll all the way to the bottom. We have this new slices section. Look at that.
Yep.
Ooh. And it was done in 2016.
Yep. So if we
then maybe should we do another run just to have like all of the cache and then do a change, or
sure?
Yeah, just to have something to compare it with.
Yeah, and while this is running, we can actually go into if you scroll up and go to the public directory, we can actually take a look and see what the slices is, how it looks being generated, and then go into the underscore Gatsby folder.
There we go.
Yep, and then
Oh, there it is.
Yep. So there's your HTML. So that's what's getting put in place of all the other slices.
And then where's it used? Like, how do you?
So if you go
chunk mapping, sorry,
yeah, if you go into a page that's used, I think your emails page, or was it your?
Now it's in every page, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you search for header or site-header. Yep. So here's where you can see it's being slotted into the page.
And then you take this part and
And there's some magic that goes on within the Gatsby framework itself, but that's when anything changes, it just takes that little piece out and puts your new stuff in.
because here's the end comment, and the other one was the beginning comment, and then you just take everything in between there and just like chuck it out and stitch it back in.
Yep.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't go for pizza. Maybe you should go for more of a sewing metaphor here. I feel like that is closer actually to what you're doing, but maybe not as cool in the developer community.
That's true. Yeah. But pizza does taste better than sewing, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Sewing is more useful though. I would say, but pizza is fun. Okay, so it's done now in 34.97 seconds.
What?
Yes.
And it was
using the cache.
219?
Yeah, because it didn't have any cache, right?
Oh, yeah.
But now I want to change something else that's on every page. Do I have something else that's on every page to like show the difference?
Do you have something at the bottom, maybe? No,
I don't have a footer. We could make a footer afterwards and like show that. So okay, let me change something in this header that I have.
Yeah.
Header slice. So if we hadn't used slices, when we do a rebuild now, it would have had to rebuild all those pages and we would have been back at like 216 seconds or whatever it took.
Yeah.
So in this specific case, I'm not sure if we'll see a ton of since it's 200 pages, relatively small.
Yeah.
It's,
my page is huge. No, just kidding.
When we're talking about like enterprise scale, when you have like 20, 30,000 pages being built with a Gatsby site, which can still be really fast, that's where you really see like a ton of benefit.
Yeah.
We'll see how fast this goes.
So let's do span here, and let me see if I can remember my tailwind now. Color blue, sometimes I get like a tailwind helper, but I didn't now. Color blue. Doesn't matter. The text will show up anyway. Okay, so then we do another build. And we shouldn't be seeing output that it's making all of these pages then, I guess.
Well, in this case, it will still show that you're making pages, but it might just be a little bit faster because now it's just stitching in the pieces that changed.
Oh, okay.
Especially specifically for local builds that's just writing to the public directory.
Yeah, but then on Gatsby Cloud, you're going to do other clever stuff that makes it even faster. Yeah.
Yep.
But my initial question with the greatest hits was, how did you get to be at Gatsby?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Something went wrong. We don't get to this question. Like something comes up. Something's wrong.
Ooh.
Render page. Building slices HTML. It failed at building slices HTML.
Ah, okay.
What did you change?
I put in test. This text.
Everybody knows you can't put test in your HTML. It breaks everything.
It breaks everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could it be because I'm doing my like fancy where I like made this?
Yeah. It shouldn't be that.
And then like made this. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that. If you scroll down in the error more, maybe that'll give us a little more information.
Gatsby worker. It's somewhere in the render page JS.
Okay.
And it says page SSR, server-side rendering.
Okay, so this is a good problem to catch.
Yeah. Might be. Who knows what it is?
Yeah.
It's okay. Take it away then.
We'll just not like. We've shown slices. We don't have to show it working all the way.
Yeah.
It works in dev.
Yeah, it works in dev, and from some of our testing, I think these are like the day-to-day changes that we need to iron out a little bit more before we even put out an alpha for it. So
Yeah.
This is good.
Let's see if if it's just because I tried to like, maybe it's just the stitching that is having some troubles in this alpha version. But yeah, let's see if you can get to how you got to be at Gatsby, like another sentence before this crashes again.
So I actually, in my previous job, I actually used Gatsby for our design systems, internal documentation and things like that. And so I'd used it. We were on V2, which blows my mind. Like looking like how much I've learned now and how much faster V4 is than V2 and like all the extra features and stuff. It like blows my mind that like I was content using V2. You know, it's a totally different framework at this point. So yeah, back to this error.
Yeah, it's the same error. So
okay.
I think we'll just like, some things just don't work on stream. So
yeah. Yeah, it works. Yeah, as Alex said, it works on my machine. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah. It must be a bug in Mac OS. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. I mean, my Mac is old. Let's just say it's that. So
yeah.
And then
John has a
question. Are there drawbacks or gotchas when many slices are used in a page?
Yeah, maybe so that's a good question. One of the big things that we've noticed in a lot of our testing is, just from like the developer experience perspective, like using a lot of slices at this point in its early version. Like one thing is like you can't really like command click into that slice and like see the component. So like there's some developer experience things that might be hindered at this point. We definitely have plans in the future and ideas to make that better, and to like help your IDE kind of locate which component is being used under the hood and things like that. I think that's the biggest drawback right now that we've seen just in some of our internal testing. That's a good question.
But I'm so like blah, blah, blah. Maybe I can't, like, I don't know if I can talk, like we're coming up on the hour. So I'm guessing like the biggest benefits would be to do it with those components that are literally on every page or like on a lot of pages, and then not try to be like clever and use it for everything. Even though
and I think you could see some benefits in doing it in a lot of things, but yeah, at least initially until we get some of those like developer experience features added. Right now our big targets are saying like this case, like headers, footers, contact forms on every page, things like that are really, really good targets for slices.
And I'm guessing like we did initially that we're not going to do that as well. But like, like I have this email component that kind of gets thrown around, and it's not on every page, but it's gonna like on a lot of pages there's like these latest emails or like related emails, and you can pass props into slices, right?
You can pass props. You can even pass children to slices.
So then like if you have one, so I have a design for this list, even though it doesn't look as much, but like there's a design for this list and I want to reuse that in many places, like every place I have an email, and sometimes I send different emails into that component, but still I don't want to re-render all of those pages just because I've like go into my email component and change some CSS, right? If I go in here and I'm really like, oh, I want, the text to be medium instead of small.
Right.
Like I don't want all of my pages using that email component to have to re-render. So then maybe it would be beneficial to change it into a slice. But I think we have to like keep a cool head.
And one really common use case that we're seeing pop up too is, it's very common, specifically when we're talking about, working into the more like business space of Gatsby sites. Oftentimes, like even on GatsbyJS.com, like we have a promotional banner at the top that says, hey, check out this new feature, or we have this new thing or new blog post, that changes often. And it's on every page. So it's like you have this little like 50 pixel tall, you'll see it. You have this little 50, 100 pixel tall little banner. And it's like, why would you want to spend, 2 or 3 minutes of your day just waiting for like that little thing to change, whereas if this was a slice, you change that, it's 5 seconds, it's going to be quick. So that's what we're really excited about.
And then it can change into just like, returning a null when there is no banner. And then when there is a banner coming from the content system or wherever you're sourcing the content banner information from, then it's shown. So, because like a component can be empty, right? So then it will just collapse.
Yeah.
Alex has a question.
You guys just answered it.
Oh,
but I'll read it anyway. I may have missed it earlier in the stream, but how should I reason about which components / parts of my website are the best candidates to convert to slices? So maybe you can sum it up.
Yeah, you want to go ahead, Ray?
No, like right now I'm just taking a photograph of the screen with the question and just being super meta. Sum it up, Josh.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is like either components that change often that are used on multiple pages or things that are used on literally like 90% of your site. Those things are going to be the things that you really benefit from for slices, especially when you're making content changes, code changes, CSS changes like Ray just showed. These are really the critical pieces of your site that change often and on a lot of pages, and it just saves a ton of time.
Yep.
Cool. I guess we're coming up on the hour. Do you want to do a little plug section?
Yeah, I want to plug something.
Session.
I want to plug something.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm working on this thing here. The Dev Task Pirate Prep cheat sheet. So it's mostly for junior. Well, actually, it's for DevRels, Gatsby plugin pirate princesses, and dev dads. So it's it's basically to take a dev task and make it easier to practice on. Yeah. So if y'all would check out this here and then go down here and then sign up for updates, and I'll send you the cheat sheet, people. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
I am putting that into our what's it called? Description underneath this stream right now, so you can check it out. I'm just gonna hit save, and it should be there.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm not allowed to change the description. I'm not allowed to change the description while there is a stream. So,
but you'll do it
let
later.
me do that. I'll do that in a couple, like right after the stream. I'll update, and you can head on over there and click the link. But how am I supposed to get out of this now? Okay. Yes, and then it's my plug.
Yes.
Or maybe we should do Josh's plug. Do you have a plug, Josh?
I do have a plug, but you can go first.
Yes.
I get to go first.
Yeah.
But you should get can you click click share here, Josh, so that you can get it up, or should I do it?
Just put it in the private chat, and then I can share it, or Ula can share it.
I can share it.
So,
put it in the private chat. Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa, look at that. I am going to be speaking and doing a workshop on how to build Gatsby plugins in London. The workshop will be, I think mine will be on the 16th. Let's find it and see.
All right.
I think it's down here. Keep calm and code your own Gatsby plugin. It's going to be on the Wednesday 16, and it's a half-day workshop. So head on over to modernfrontends.live and sign up for my workshop, people. That would be awesome.
Yes.
And look at that. I even got it to be. Oh, my trash wants to empty. I'm even now officially Queen Raae all over the internet, which just makes me happy.
That's amazing. I feel like I need an adjective before my name or a title or something.
Yes.
Yeah, do it. Oh, you're speaking here. They didn't want me.
Yeah, so Alex actually referred me to it because he's like, hey, React Norway was sweet. You should go to React New York. And then someone else mentioned it. So I'm actually speaking at React New York. I'm really excited about it. The title of my talk is going to be the hydration migration. And so
I like it.
It's going to be a fun talk talking about, the history of JavaScript, where we were, 20 years ago, where we're at now, how we got here, the future, things like that. So it's really exciting stuff.
That's super cool.
With that, the hydration or partial hydration things, if you want to check out the Gatsby 5 alpha, that is out currently. Like we said, it does not have slices yet, but you can kind of play around with partial hydration and things like that. just over in our public repo discussions. So
yeah, I think I
really,
linked it
really excited.
last week. I think I linked to it last week, and I'll put that in the description as well. I think it's this one. Yeah, here, umbrella discussion on all things version 5 on GitHub, and that's where you can follow the Gatsby 5 development, it seems.
Yep. Yeah, and again,
warning.
if you have any issues, like we've yeah, this is we should have had that same text at this screen, but saying pre-alpha, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we if you have any issues or you know, any other comments, suggestions, things like that, feel free to post them here because this is good to know before we get to a beta.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't help Mr. Suhail here.
Yeah, but he will have to wait until the official alpha.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go in here because I think here in the umbrella discussion, they do have a link to the slices. So it says not part of this API, but if you go into the slices API discussion,
Okay.
then you can follow this and you will probably be notified when there is an official alpha.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, like you can do like a watch, can't you, on these like discussions, or can you not? Like if you want to get a notification from GitHub, maybe. If not, I know like if you just write a comment, you'll be notified. So you can be like, just like you do an emoji, like raise your hand and then just be like, you know, raise hand,
flag.
Waiting.
Pizza.
Pizza. There you go.
Waiting for notifications or something like that. If you can't find the like a way to get notified on this discussion. GitHub notifications are a mess, so you kind of just have to.
That is true.
Hey, if you ever figure them out, let me know.
It's like, at least I figured, I haven't done this for Gatsby though, but you can do like all activities. So I started doing that on things I really want to follow, because otherwise you want, but then you also get all of the, you know, Dependabot stuff, and you kind of get a little too much. But anyway, you can customize it up here in the watch. So that was all our plugs. So you know, in a couple of minutes, check out the description and hit those links. And see us in React. You can see Josh not in React, but in New York. You can see me in London. And you can get emails from Ola on how to become a better developer. So yeah.
Better at practicing.
Yeah, better at practicing, which will make you.
I'm not promising any results.
Okay. But you have gotten a lot better after starting to implement some of these ideas. So I'm not promising you results, but
it doesn't mean it works for you.
No. And then also remember to like and subscribe and comment on this video, which is you know, obligatory to say when you're on YouTube. You want to do the do you have anything last messages for everyone out there, Josh, before Ola does the outro?
I don't think so. I mostly just thanks for having me. This was really fun. Hopefully that it was fun enough to have me back someday.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Next time I'll try my best. If you send me a picture of Ola's hat next time, I'll try to top it. So we'll figure something out.
But I remember something, because your dog did not come back in. We got to see the dog like 2 minutes before the live stream. You know, can you bring her or him back
Talk
in?
for 15 seconds.
Yes. Because we need to have the dog for the outro.
Did it?
Right.
He logged himself out.
No, he turned off audio and then and video, and then he kind of like was gone from the screen.
Ja, men han skal hente den, sa jeg. Se der! Opp.
Oh, so cute. Oh, you're
she
on
didn't come bother us because she was sleeping, and now she's still.
Oh, now she's like,
very tired.
Oh, look at that. Did you ever get to work with Sid, or did you not overlap?
We didn't overlap.
No. Oh, okay. Because like, yeah, he I think he moved to London now, and if I remember correctly, he's gotten some new dogs as well. So if you ever come to London, you gotta hook up with Sid. Talk Gatsby and dogs. She said she wants it. So.
Yeah.
a pet discussion in this household. We've been looking at some smaller pets, but yeah. But then we told her she would have to clean the cage every Saturday. It seems like it's tempered the enthusiasm a little.
Yeah, that makes sense. I even feel that way sometimes too, so understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the song.
Okay, I'll make you guys big.
But should we do the summing up?
Oh yes, we should do the summing up. Good call, Ola.
Kan du
Good
holde den?
call. Let
Hold
me
den så den syns.
get
Du må ta
back
nærmere.
to screen sharing.
Bokstavene må
So-
syns, William.
It's the middle of the day for Josh, but like it's getting late here, so getting a little
Ja, bra,
little
bra jobba.
distractible. There we go.
Enda nærmere.
So okay, so
Litt sånn her.
let's
Litt
go
lenger da.
with our
Alltid siden.
summary.
Så.
And mute yourselves if you're gonna talk that much. Okay. Summary. So what did we do? We have refactored my site header from a regular old component into a slice. And why would we want to do that? So now I'll try to say it and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. We would want to do that because if the site header changes, previously every page would need to rebuild because every page has the site header. But now that we made it into a slice, what Gatsby can do is just like take out that little chunk from every page and then put in the new site header. So if we do something to the site header, either content-wise, styling-wise, or just HTML like code-wise, we no longer have to rebuild every page. We can just rebuild that slice, and then that slice gets stitched into every page. Is that?
You nailed it. I feel like you should be describing this feature more than I should at this point.
Yes. And how did we do it? We went in and kind of refactored my regular site header into a slice with an alias site header, which reference a slice that we have defined in our Gatsby node. So similarly to how we can create pages programmatically, we create slices programmatically by using the create slice. We give it an ID, and that is what matches up with the site header here in the alias. Because I'm guessing you can't use ID there because that would be messing with the HTML.
Yeah, that, and we can do some fancy other stuff you can read about in the RFC.
Ooh, and then we have to let it know what component describes the slice. So I actually moved it into a slices folder and call it site header slice. So this is all the code that used to be in my site header component that I'm now instead asked to fetch this slice or use this slice. I guess that's it. And then hopefully in the future, Gatsby will just like make slices out of everything in the slices folder, but no promises, they say. But maybe put it in the slices folder and you'll be ready for the future.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to take it out, Ola?
Nei, Lilla. Opp med deg. Opp med deg. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We did a Gatsby plug-in treasure hunt with Queen Raae and our guest was Josh Johnson.
Woo!
There's Lillian and Ola. Also, we need to read here. Thank you all. Lots of fun. I can't always ride the sharky ways, but when I do, it's always informative.
We missed you, John. It's good to see you again. Bye. And we all wave awkwardly.